Guys and dolls. So let me just check it. Yeah, so I'm trying a different thing now with the video, and you know, don't want to just do it and not like just not put it up, you know what I mean? It's the end of the day, it's content. Maybe a wee bit windy, but it will come out of there soon. I'm trying to find the best way, because like when I do it the other way around with the screen facing me, I think that's not as good a camera, and for the big screen I think it looks better, and then I'm able to turn it around and show you bits and pieces. Don't know if you can see things behind me, you know, it's just a wee bit better focus. I don't know, we'll see whenever I upload it. That's what I'm doing. But while I'm here, I may as well just have a chit chat, you know. It's an absolutely beautiful day in Scotland. It's Sunday afternoon. I've had some problems, you know, nothing major. I don't really, I can't really talk about it because it involves people around me, and they watch this, you know, but I suppose I can skirt the issue, can't I, sort of thing. You know, it's just a disagreement, somebody doing me a favour, and I wasn't happy, you know. I didn't feel safe, and you know, they took the huff, you know, because they were doing me a favour, and understandable, you know what I mean. Totally get it, totally understand it, that's the best about it, you know. No love lost, you know what I mean. You know, the thing is, you know what I mean, in any hard circumstances. Sorry buddy, she's fine. I'm good mate, thanks. Cheers buddy. This is a runner. Saying hello. One of the neighbours, I think. Recognise him. But it's just one of them things, you know what I mean? It's like we're not all the same, we're all different, you see, you know. We all behave differently, and it's really difficult to go through life and not upset people because we're all so different, you know. And that's all it is. It's just like, if it was the other way around and it was me, I would have probably acted the same way that they acted. You know, it is what it is. I'm understanding. I totally understand the whole situation, you know what I mean? And I do feel bad about it, you know, but I can't apologise because I wouldn't not do it again, you know what I mean? It's just, you know, one of them things. Yeah, we've got other problems as well with other family, you know what I mean? But it's just normal stuff that everybody goes through, you know what I mean? And you know, a breakup in a relationship, a grandchild involved, grandparents worrying, you know. And then you've got all the negative stuff that comes with the breakup, you know, especially if it's like a 10-year marriage or something like that. Yeah, so, like, I'm living life, there's no two ways about it. It's like normal life, and it's good. It's good, that's good. That is really normal for me, and like, because you gotta understand, like, my life before I got married was jumping on planes, travelling the world, trying to stay alive as well, I suppose, you know. Had metal gates on my door, metal plates under my bed, really paranoid, constantly checking under your car for devices and stuff, you know. It was crazy, you know what I mean. And like, it was never any nice. Everybody, you be nice, you can, being bad and disrespectful and cheeky to people in the criminal world sort of thing, that's normal. That's how, you know, two guys involved in stuff like us, like me before, would not go up to another guy and go, alright mate, how you doing? How's your day been? How's life treating you? You know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing, you funny? You know what I mean? Oh, you I haven't seen you nowhere, you've been in the jail. Just like mild abuse, you know what I mean? But that's normal, that's the way you expect. Somebody comes up to me and is nice and you worry. You think, what have they done? You know? And that's common. That is common, like. But this is like normal, you know what I mean? It's like, it's good to be normal. I keep saying it, like, the people, my friends, it's like, I'm not used to normal people. And that's why it's hard in the pubs. And a lot of guys will relate to this, that's been in prison. It's really difficult relating to normal people because what do you talk about? You know, so you've been involved with crime all your life or whatever, say, whoever's watching this, from Belfast, Catholic or Protestant, and you've been involved with the conflict, let's say, and that's your life, you know what I mean, and then I don't know, you come away from Belfast, you come away from your area, whether it be West Belfast, Andytown, Ardoyne, Shankill, East Belfast, the village, Sandy Row, and you move and you meet normal people because come on guys, you know, anybody, it's so different in our communities, you know, so different. And I suppose it's like that amongst friends and pubs and all that as well, you know what I mean? But it is different, you know. I'll give, like, for example, like when Reservoir Dogs come out, Bailey, leave! Bailey! Bailey, leave! Come on! He's after our duck. Yeah, I'll just put that like this for a wee bit. Let you see again when we walk and talk. You don't need to see me, I don't think. Yeah, so wonder if I flipped it round, would it work? Would it change for you? Hopefully that changes on the screen. It's hard to hold it steady. Aye, so yeah, it is really, really difficult. So it is when you live in some areas, when you come from some areas and you try to, I don't know, integrate into normal communities. It can be quite difficult. It's quite hard to hold steady like this. I don't want to shake too much, guys. I'm a nightmare, I know. I'm sorry guys. It's just a wee bit steadier, I think, this way for me. I'm getting a stick tomorrow, so I am. I'm definitely getting a stick tomorrow, guys. 100%. But yeah, it's been really difficult thinking, and that's probably why, like, you know, like criminals, you know what I mean? It's like they're a certain breed, you know. This way, Bill, they're a certain breed, like, and it is different, you know, people. And the thing is, what I'm saying is about, like, what do you talk about? It's what do I talk about in the pub with people? You know, my life, you know what I mean, has been children's homes, training schools, YOs, adult jails, and then big jails, and then big sentences, and then married, and then I lost my wife. You know, it's like, that's it. That's what I've got to talk about, you know what I mean? And so I don't want to talk about children's homes to people. I don't want to tell people what's happening. That's mental. See people going out to enjoy themselves and you're starting talking about shit like that. And I'm not going to talk about anything about Belfast, because that does create division and hatred, you know, because not everybody's the same, you know. So, and I'm certainly not going to talk about my wife, because I'm not ready for that yet, you know what I mean? Just not ready to go down that memory lane sort of thing. I'm just able to look at photographs and videos, and that's nearly 4 years, you know. It's like that's a journey and a half, so it is, you know, and a lot of things had to get right in my head and everything to be able to move on and be with somebody else. That took 3 years. You know, but yeah, it's difficult, you know, it is difficult to socialise, you know what I mean? Obviously I'm going to do a video and touch on this a bit more, so I'm just going to let you know, because I know whoever's listening to this now or watching this now will be there's our wee nature steps. Love this, absolutely love this. If we take it on the ground level so you can actually see it where you would go with your feet, like that, your feet, like wee steps. I know, I'm very easily amused. Come on, girl. Come on. You gotta get up here. You get a good run. Come on, let's go. Yeah, so I just so people here, yeah, obviously you like my videos and like my content. So yeah, a couple of things I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing some interviews with some guys, different guys from working class areas that you probably would never have come across in your life. Hopefully I'm able to sit down with a Republican. That would be interesting, from Belfast. And I'm going to do some videos just on my experience in Belfast as well, and just with the prisons and that, what it was like, you know. That'll be interesting, you know, obviously within reason, but it's interesting enough. I can keep enough stuff out and it can still be really interesting. Like it's quite amazing. So it is, especially because I was so young. I was 16. It was amazing, like absolutely amazing. But yeah, I'm gonna do that'll be a big one, like. So I'll do that one soon enough, like. So well, and then anything that you are interested in, you know me, you just let me know. You know, and if I know about it, I'll talk about it. I put a big bit in my description, I'm sure, in one of my last video, or the video before my last video. Just about everything I can cover, you know. It goes from like prisons to mental health to child abuse to care, prison officers, patriots, immigration. You know, I'm an immigrant, really. Like I'm from Belfast and I'm living in Scotland, so you know, human beings do move about the world, you know. And I'm the last person who wants to stop that. Jeez, oh. The fact that we have freedom of movement is amazing. You know, we should be able to move about and travel because one day it'll be taken away from us, you know. And there'll only be certain types of people who'll be able to travel. It'll just be too expensive, you know what I mean? If it goes cashless, you know, then they can control our movements big time. You're not going to be able to buy a ticket anywhere unless you get approval from the government. It won't be just as simple as going into the travel agents and booking a holiday to Spain. You know, all that's going to go one day. There's no doubt about it. Oh, unless we do something dramatic, you know. Well, that's where we're going with the Labour Party in England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales. You know, pushing for a cashless society, and so they can watch you every move, and they can put a limit of where you can go outside your area and spend your money, because your card will only work at certain places, you know what I mean, as well. They'll be able to control so much, and you can stop your money, take money off you. You wouldn't be able to get away with nothing, you know. You wouldn't be able to get away with nothing. And that's what's going to be hard, because the only way people are surviving right now is because if you don't have the money in your bank, then they can't do nothing about it. Simple as that. Can't take blood out of a stone, you know. And people don't have nothing. They don't have nothing. Their wages are coming in, it's going straight out. They're paying a token to debt agencies, a token. You know, like me with my rent, I pay a token every fortnight, you know. But, you know, I'll never pay that off. It's mental, like, even, I mean, you know. But this is what I mean, they left me for 3 years. I was paying my rent, I was working and everything. And I still tried to keep on working, but it was just too much, because my wife phoned me when I was in the van, when I was working. I was going down to England, come back from England in the van. And she told me she couldn't breathe. It was right before the lockdowns and everything. And I was like, you know, phoning an ambulance and whatnot, so I'm not going to go into it, obviously, but yeah. A lot happened in that van that night. A lot of things in my head went that will never leave me, you know. But I did try. I really did try, because I enjoyed it. It was my first ever job as well, you know. My first ever job, you know, delivering kitchens. You know what I mean? Good guy, employed me even with my record and everything, you know. And he had to put up with a lot, to be honest with you. He put up with a lot, that man. And yeah, with my anger and stuff, you know, yeah, some complaints with me fighting with guys in the street and stuff like that. So yeah, but I did try, and it was just too much for me emotionally, and everything just went pear-shaped after that. And, you know, became a recluse, and I never paid nothing. And they let me get into so much there, because they wanted the house, you see. They've been trying to get this house off me for a long time. All off the family. Way back 20 years ago, when the kids left, they tried to get the house off the mum and dad. And then my wife's mum had MS really bad, final stages MS, and she had to get a ramp and everything put in, but they said they couldn't put a ramp in because of the incline, and my father-in-law ended up doing it himself, and I swear it's what killed him, you know what I mean, because so much work was done, you know, and they could have just put a framework in, made it so easy. It could have been done so easy, you know, with some knowledge I know and the bit of experience I know, that yeah, it was so easy to do. But you know, to spend a good year digging out and removing earth and bringing in slabs and stuff and backbreaking stuff for a 60-year-old man, and eventually he died of a massive heart attack. you know, a year after me getting out of prison. And yeah, so they tried to get the house in, and then after he died, they tried to get the house again, saying that she needed, my wife's mum needed to go in the care. We had cars coming in. There was problems with the brother, obviously, and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into it, but we ended up having to move in and look after the woman for 6 years. We still had to do her medication and her feed and her water. That was hard work, you know. You know, it was really difficult. But they tried to get the house in again, and then whenever Wilma died, because we'd moved in then, you know, because we were renting across the road. By the time we were on the rent book by this stage, so when Wilma died, it was passed right over to us, you know, because it's a council house. It's not a bought house or nothing. It's a council house. It's been in the family for 40, 50 years. So then, when Sammy died, my wife died, yeah, they just left me for 3 years. I never paid my rent, nothing. And I got in £16,000 worth of debt, and then they hit me with a court, to take me to court to take the house off me, and you know, they knew what they were doing. But I was going through the historical child abuse stuff in Northern Ireland, in the homes, and trying to get compensation. And I was evaluated, and they came back with complex PTSD and personality disorder and traits of other things, and just a damaged guy, you know, just a damaged guy. Any professional that looks into me can see that. But so because of that, I think everything collapsed, because I had lawyers and everything, you know what I mean. I did have lawyers fighting my case for me and that, and I was just at the start of getting ready to go to trial to fight for the house, and everything stopped, and you know, they agreed I pay £20 a fortnight or something like that out of the 16 grand rent. I was fucking nuts, like, but you know, I did say to them, like, you know, because I had no heating there for 3 years, because they put a new heating system in, they kept breaking down, and then they said they need to lift all the floorboards up, and I just lost my wife, and I was like, oh, I can't be asked for that. So I haven't had any heating in the house, and that's another reason why I live on my own, you know what I mean. It's not like, you know, a child couldn't live in the house. That's why the child's going to that's why we're staying separate, you know, because she's the mother, the child needs his mother, and I'm just around the corner. It's all good. But yeah, no heating, and like, there's a list of things. You know, after my wife died, I don't know, I couldn't go up the stairs. My wife died in the bedroom on the floor. She actually crawled into a big dog bed. Had a Rhodesian Ridgeback at the time, guard dog, and you know, she didn't let the ambulance crew into the house, you know, so that was another problem that I had to deal with, you know, because I love this dog, and you know, I had to give the dog away to one of my mates, and that caused problems because he didn't want to give me it back, and it wasn't being looked after properly. It was really overweight and everything, and you know, I lost her a year later because I'd give her away. Because I didn't know where my head would be at, you know. I was in a mess. I was in a mess. I just lost everybody that I loved in the matter of 3 years or something, 4 or 5 years. You know, father-in-law, mother-in-law, and then my wife. You know, I was given a family, and then it was whipped right away from me again. Stepdaughter and stepson don't want nothing to do with me. They blame me for everything, you know what I mean? So I don't know what to do with that, like, but it's all gone, you know. But like I say, the silver lining is I've got a family coming. Got a wee girl. She's ready any month now. So yeah, an absolutely amazing mother, from an amazing family, big family from Glasgow, well known. So yeah, the baby's not going to want for anything, that's for sure. I've made sure that the baby's going to be well looked after and well cared for, no matter what happens to me, you know. Plus, I've got some very good friends around me that are going to be godfathers. I haven't told them yet, but there's going to be people in charge of things as well. And I have that kind of friendship with guys. Sorry if I'm not in this camera, right? I'll constantly, when I'm talking about stuff like this, I'm sort of wandering a wee bit. But no, it's like, I've got some good friends as well, so, you know, because you've got to understand, it's difficult bringing a child into the world when you're 55 years old, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's not like you can actually make plans to go to your 18th birthday, you know, God willing, but, you know, I'm not one of them guys that counts my chickens. So this is what we seen at the end of my last video, just along there. That's a buzzard you can hear, that's a buzzard. Oh, you just missed them. I might catch them buzzards. They normally come and say hello to me. You hear that? It's a young buzzard. Yeah, young buzzard. Can't see it like. But yeah. So I was in a wee bit of a mess after I lost my wife. Geez, oh. After already I've been through, like, it was just a nightmare of a scenario, and then, oh, I don't want to talk about, I've already mentioned some bits in that. It is really difficult still to talk about to this day, and, you know, it's just like, you know, I will cover it all. When I do my story properly, I will cover everything in detail, everything to do with that, no matter how I feel about talking about it. I'm going to cover it. I think it's important that you've got to be truthful and honest, no matter how embarrassed you may feel about it. Like, but yeah, I was in a bad place, really bad place. And like I say, you know what I mean, I couldn't go up, I couldn't use the upstairs. And then after about a year, I managed to go back upstairs. And then I didn't go downstairs for 2 years. And then there was a leak under the sink, under the flooring at the sink. And when I lifted the flooring up, the floorboards were rotten. So there's been a hole in the kitchen for about 2.5 years now. And the council have boarded it up, and so nobody falls through it. And then they've had to come out and board it up again, and like, there's no kitchen, you know what I mean, because my father-in-law, he was like a bit of a mechanic, and everything was upside down sort of thing. But you know, the cooker stopped working a long time ago and stuff, so I just use a wee like gas cooker, and have a microwave and a kettle and a toaster and a slow cooker, you know, so I get by. But I only use this downstairs now for the wash machine. So I do this to wash my clothes and dry my clothes. You know, so I'm still on the road to getting proper recovery. Come on, Bailey, this way, hen. Back down this way. A bit windy in there. Yeah, I'm still on the road to recovery, like, you know, 100%. I'm still got things to sort out and to get my head right, you know. My standard of living isn't great, you know what I mean? With no heating and stuff like that, and you know, so. But because I'm from working class, I know I keep going on about it, but you know what I mean. You know, I can survive. It's no big deal. You know what I mean? As long as you got your windows shut, you know what I mean, and a couple of candles on the go, the room doesn't take long to heat up. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. Even in the winter, we haven't had a really bad winter, so that sort of saved me as well a wee bit. In fact, I've had the dogs. You know, dogs are always there with me as well. You know, but yeah, it's been a bit of a hectic time. You know, I've been on some sort of roller coaster. You know, I've had so many massive big ups and so many massive big downs, and they've all been like sort of like that roller coaster effect, vroom vroom. You know, there's no calm in between where you're just traveling along. I think the calm's been the prison. Calm's been prison. I have to say, like, well, you know, lately the last sentence when I got 18 years, I got it down to 15, mind you, but that last one, that was quite calm. You know, so I was in what, 32. I was 32 when I went in. So I was quite a common one. So the ones before that were mental, like the jail sentences in England, Belfast, and all. Oh, wow, wild. Well, looking back, I don't even know how I managed to survive. I really don't. I'm amazed that I've managed to get this far. You know, I'm really amazed. I look back and I just don't think, I don't recognise myself. And I think myself, how did you cope? Because I could not cope with that now. That's very strange, you know. It's almost like I'm looking at somebody else, you know. But I'm not. It's definitely me, like 100%. I loved it, breathed it, got every fucking memory in my head, you know. And you don't remember the good stuff, you know. You really don't. You only remember the really bad stuff. Like, you know, so many good things happened in jail and good times with some really good guys. And unfortunately, you meet that many people. If you're moved about different jails, in and out of different landings, up and down from different diggers, blocks, holes, whatever you want to call them, then you forget a lot of people, you know. And it is, I've got small memories of certain people, you know. I mean, guys from Glenparva, a big guy called Smithy. He was a diamond digger. He was in for an armed robbery, but he was a big gentle giant. And a couple of other guys in my life that I find hard to forget, you know, especially guys from Kilkillian and that, you know, and back in Northern Ireland, East Belfast, and even going right back to the village, you know. You know, one particular guy, Mucker, you know what I mean? There's loads of muckers out there, so I'm not going to be doing him anything, but, you know, he's He's a very good friend. He looked out for me when I was young and that. And then we bumped into each other. I'll quickly give you a quick rundown of the story. Because I was in A-Wing, the lawless prisoner, and they needed us to lock up. That means go into the prison, the part of the prison where there's normal criminals, because there was somebody, there was a bad boy that needed a clip round the ear. So we had to lock up to go and get the guy. And so whenever the dirty deed was done, we tried to get back to the A-Wing, and the screws thought they would be smart by saying, no, you're here, you're staying here. So anyway, long story short, I was shooting out the window. I was, how old was I then? 16, 17, I say. Probably, it's a bit crazy, like, you know what I mean, how to get all this into all this small space of time. But, yeah, and I was shouting, because back in the day, there was no radios, or there was no TVs and stuff, so everybody shouted out the windows for the banter and the crack. And I was shouting out the windows, and he recognised my name. And he was like, sing, you know, I'm not going to fucking say it, like, but Freedom Dad. And I'm like, yeah. And he said, Freedom Dad from fucking, are you Freedom Dad from the village? I'm like, yeah. And he introduced himself, and I'm like, oh, what? And he said, what are you doing over there? And I'm like, I quickly give him what I could say at the window. He says, right, no bar. So the next day, the screws came open to my door and moved me to C-Wing. Now, C-Wing was for the warlords. This is what we called the warlords back in the day. It was like the big men, the big commanders and all that. Both sides, the IRA and our side. And I was only YO in there. I think I've been the only YO ever to go in there, believe it or not. I'm quite a lot of firsts, believe it. That's another thing. You know, I mean, I've done quite a lot of firsts in my life. I was always the first YO somewhere. I was always the first young offender somewhere in quite a few jails. Bedford jail as well. I was the only YO in Bedford jail at one time down in England. I mean, it was an old jail. They didn't meant to have. Well, this is the thing. Nobody else knew. They just didn't know what to do with me. You know. But yeah, that was amazing being amongst all the big names, and it just gave me more street cred than it. You know, because you know the more stuff I got up to, I was always getting into trouble with Paul Multis. Always, you know, he's always getting pulled up. You know what I mean? I had a clip in the ear many a time by a man called Squeak. You know, he's one of my heroes, to be honest with you. And I know these laddies are like, I know I'm not going to say the whole name, but people know who I'm talking about. And I know, I get it, you know, but this is my opinion, my life, you know what I mean? It's for entertainment and educational purposes. But, you know, he was like one of my heroes growing up. And I will do a story, I will do a video about him one time. Because I think it's important, you know. And I encourage other guys to do stuff from the other side about people that they've got respect for and have lost in the troubles. You know, I think it's just, I think if you can't listen to somebody talking about somebody that's not here anymore, whether you agree or not agree, then there's something wrong. You know, you've got to be able to be open and honest with things and just be, yeah. I get that. That's, you know, because there was, like I say, when I talked about reading the book about the hunger strikers, you know, wow, so powerful. Emotionally affected me, you know. And this was when I was younger, you know, when I was reading about when they read out the wee letters that they were sending out, and the kites, whatever, I think that's what they call them. I can't remember what they call them now. That'll come to me probably before the end of this, but it was like, the wee messages, they would write letters on cigarette papers, little cigarette papers, and they would stick all these cigarette papers together, so they had a big long line, a big long, like a wee roll, and they would write really small, and then they would wrap it up in a tiny wee square and pass it out in a visit, and they kept all them, you know what I mean? I think it's called 10 Men Dead, or 10 Dead Men, I think it's 10 Men Dead. If anybody, you should read it, it's an amazing book, absolutely amazing. But like I say, you know, I had a lot of heroes growing up, you know, that's what Belfast was like, you know, that's what Belfast was like, but, you know, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to go on, you know, it's mental, it's going, making big, massive videos, you know what I mean, but, I'm just out trying the different things with a camera and stuff, and, yeah, I'm just letting you know that there will be good stuff coming, you know, it's not just always going to be about me wandering about the forest and that, and just chewing the fat. It will be other stuff coming, a wee bit more interesting stuff, for want of a better way of explaining it, but yeah, definitely, it's, you know, stuff from the working class and things, you're going to meet people you probably never meet in your life. If it wasn't for me videoing them, sticking the camera in front of them, so it'll be interesting. I've got to get permission from a lot of people yet, you know, I've got a lot of things running about me in my head. There's no point talking about all this, and that brings some sort of something with it, you know what I mean? And, you know, there's a lot more interesting people than me. This is another thing, you know. If I can pass a baton on to somebody else, I'd be quite happy, to be honest with you. You know, quite happy. That would stand down a wee bit and let somebody else do some videos. Got no problem with that at all. And that's sort of what I'm looking for, I suppose, as well, you know. I want to get other people involved, because I can imagine what some of these guys' heads are like. Billy! So, I'm going to wrap it up there, just in case there's another dog. I'm coming in the more civilised area, so there's a chance I might bump into somebody. I don't know if there's deer or something about somewhere. Or something. Who's that? Who is that? What are you up to? I'm on video, be careful what you're saying. You're live on YouTube. I'm joking, it's just doing a video, boys. He's alright? You behaving yourselves? We'll say no more. Right, see you later, guys. Yeah, the young team. All good boys. All good boys. This is the thing, you know. I was talking to one of my friend's sons. And he comes from a big family, you know, I think there's 5 or 6 of them. And the mum and dad's broke up, and the dad's a bit of a boy, if I'm honest. I don't want to say too much, but the dad's a bit of a boy. He likes a wee ruckus, he likes a roll about. He's got a bit of a reputation, you know, and like I say, they split up, and it's been tricky, you know, police at the door and all that carry on. And I seen the oldest yesterday, and I was like, how are you doing, son? He's like, oh, no bad. And I'm like, right. He's telling me about him working. I'm like, he's still at that job? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, mate, be honest with you, I didn't have much hope. I thought you'd be in the YOs, but I'm blunt like that, you know what I mean? And he was laughing. I'm going, I'm being serious. You've done really, really well. You've done so well. And this is the problem. There's not enough people taking time out to tell these guys. You know, it's not, if he went down the wrong way and started doing bad stuff, everybody, it's because of his mum, it's because of his dad, it's because of the way he's been brought up, he's just a wee bugger. And there'd be all sorts of accusations and people pointing fingers. But, you know, this young man is trying his best in a really difficult situation. And I had to say to him, you know, well done, kid. You know, and I said to him, you won't know how difficult this is, what you're doing, until later on in life when you look back. But, you know, just keep at it, because no matter how hard it gets now, there's nothing in this world that's worth doing that isn't difficult. You know, they get, and, you know, and I could see in his eyes, Billy, come here, girl. I could see in his eyes that, you know, I don't think anybody ever spoke to him like that, but it's little things like that make a difference, guys, you know. So if you see young guys in your area and they're working and they're doing well, 15, 16, 17-year-olds, take time out of your day to tell them that they're doing well, you know. Tell them, guys, because honestly, they won't know. They won't know none of that, you know. But listen, I'm rambling on something shocking here. You take care. Everybody, thank you so much for the love and the likes and the follows and the subscriptions. It's absolutely amazing. I'm not going to keep asking people to sub and everything, because you are doing really well, and I'm quite happy with what I've got, to be honest with you. So thank you all so much again. I just hope I'm not doing your head-ins with the videos, you know what I mean, but I'd like to say it's good for me as well. Maybe I was talking to my partner today, and I was like, do you think it's a solitary confinement? Because I was like, you're not sick hearing my videos, because sometimes I'll have to look over them, make sure there's no street signs or anything in them. I was like, you must be sick hearing my voice. And she's like, no, I like your videos and all that, you know. And I'm like, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, fucking, do you think it's solitary confinement? Do you think it's all the years and like months, I'm not saying years, but months at a time in solitary confinement on my own in a digger? Do you think that's what it is that makes me like this, you know? Because I've always been like this. I've always been like this. If you knew what my nickname is, you would totally understand. You would totally understand, you know. Yeah, I've always been 100 miles an hour, that's one thing. I think that's why they're texting me for ADHD right now. I think, I don't know, I haven't got a clue, but be interesting, because I don't really know much about it. This way, Bailey. I don't really know too much about it, so, you know, I'm not going to look into it and start researching it unless I know I've got it, you know, and I think I'm alright, so, yeah, we'll see. But thanks again, guys. All love, always love, and thanks again for getting this far. God bless you all. Have a good Sunday night.